Scene began with Lady Rebecca being proposed to by Zeppelin, his words sweet as honey, asking her if she would become his most beautiful masterpiece. Rebecca, touched and believing it was love, accepted his proposal with hope in her heart. But soon, she realized the truth. She had not been chosen as a wife. She had only become another piece of Zeppelin's art collection. After their marriage, he isolated her completely, cutting her away from the outside world. He forced her to live like a doll, always dressed beautifully, but only for him. Then, one day, Zeppelin told her with happiness that she seemed pregnant. But Rebecca's heart sank. In that moment, dread consumed her, because if her child was born into this life, it would end up as nothing more than another piece in Zeppelin's display case, trapped forever alongside her. She could not bear it. She could not allow her child to live as a soulless doll. And so, Rebecca fled the mansion. For the first time in her life, she worked. Her soft hands grew rough, her face began to tarnish little by little, but she was happy. Happy because she was free. Happy because she had a future with her child. But tragedy always strikes when happiness is at its peak. One night, while she slept, she felt a touch she knew all too well. A whisper in the dark, "Rebecca. I know you are awake." Her body froze as Zeppelin's voice cut through the silence. "You're so naive, Rebecca. Did you really think I wouldn't find you? After all, our masterpiece has finally been born." Rebecca's eyes darted around the room, fear seizing her heart, until horror struck. Her child was gone. Not in her arms. Not in her bed. Her trembling voice broke as she asked where her child was. Zeppelin only smiled. "Do not worry. I would never hurt my own flesh and blood. But I cannot leave a work of art neglected in a shabby place like this." With cruel tenderness, Zeppelin held Rebecca's face, studying her like a canvas worn thin. "Rebecca," he whispered, "been tarnished by the passage of time." She desperately searched for her child, until she saw it. In Alicia's arms. Betrayal pierced her heart as Alicia whispered she had no choice. Rebecca screamed, "Give me my child." But Zeppelin yanked her back by the hair, throwing her to the ground. "Where are you going?" he asked coldly. Rebecca bit his hand, making him bleed. His fury erupted. "How dare you scar my body?" For the sake of their past, he said he would spare her life. But then, he declared that Rebecca was his perfect doll, and that it was time for her to be disposed of. He had already taken everything he wanted. And with those words, he set fire to the place. Flames devoured the walls, smoke filled the air, and the life Rebecca had struggled so hard to build was consumed by ashes. Her final thought was bitter. She had believed she escaped, but even in the end, she could not break free from Zeppelin. "If I could go back, just once more, just one more time." And then, she woke. Her maid stood before her, speaking casually about how she hoped it would rain, so that the whole event would be cancelled. Rebecca froze. Alice? She thought. But Alice had been killed by Zeppelin long ago. That's when it struck her. She had returned to the past. Just as she had wished for. To the very day everything fell apart, to her husband's wedding. To his second wife. It was a beautiful, romantic wedding. But the tragedy was this, it was her husband's second wedding. By the blessings of Goddess Dephris, the priest declared Zeppelin and Alicia husband and wife. As they walked down the aisle, Zeppelin glanced at Rebecca with that dangerous look. "Rebecca," he said softly, almost like a command. "Smile." Rebecca felt her memories crash over her like a flood. She had truly returned to the past. And so, she smiled. Beautifully. Rebecca first met Alicia during her daily walk. She could not ignore her grave condition, so she brought her back to the mansion and nursed her carefully until she recovered. When Alicia finally opened her eyes, she was so lovely, so enchanting, that she could steal anyone's heart. And just like everyone else, Rebecca's heart was stolen as well. Rebecca was once a lonely woman. After marriage, she lost touch with all her friends, and the emptiness grew heavier with time. To ease her solitude, she brought Alicia into her life, making her a handmaiden so she could always keep her by her side. With Alicia's kindness and warmth, Rebecca thought her loneliness was finally over. But that fragile peace shattered within a year. On Alicia's birthday, during what was meant to be a joyful meal, Alicia confessed she could not eat, it was morning sickness. The woman Rebecca had trusted, the one she cherished most, was carrying her husband's child. Shaken, Rebecca confronted Zeppelin. How could he touch Alicia of all people? But his reply cut even deeper. When a beautiful man and woman meet, do you really think nothing will happen? This isn't my fault. Nor is it Alicia's. It's your fault, for leaving a beautiful woman in front of me. Blaming herself, Rebecca asked what he planned to do. Zeppelin's cold answer came, isn't this the perfect timing? We haven't had a child for over 10 years, have we? And just like that, Alicia became Zeppelin's second wife. Now in the present, Rebecca remembers how back then she thought it was her fault. But with time, she has realized, none of it was her fault, as she watches them dancing happily.